press that little gray button again if you want to, or keep the tuner on. It's all good. Oh, there it is. Perfect. The other red pick.
All right, folks. Here we are, about to go. Actually, Hannah, I'm going to come in from your side and steal your mic for a second.
Go for it. We're starting with Reckless.
No,
No,
you'll be good.
I don't have that long of legs.
Oh, can you? Okay, good. You adjusted the microphone. Never mind. We're good.
Check, check. All right, good evening once again, Jives Coffee Lounge, and good evening to my folks watching on Facebook Live and YouTube Live right now, wherever you may be across the country, across the world. Thank you guys for tuning in and joining us. If you're liking what you're going to see here tonight, I hope you share this link out. In the meantime, I am North Star, and this is the Front Range Groove, the feature segment of the Overpaired Open Mic. We do this every Wednesday night. Well, the feature we do on the last Wednesday of each month, and we bring you an act sharing 40 to 45 minutes of all original material. No covers, no covers, no covers on the live stream. Covers are cool for open mic, not for the live stream. Why? Well, one, I don't want to get muted by Facebook and YouTube. That's one. Two, I've always, those of you watching online, if you're some of my previous viewers from Job Expressions Live, from Hope Mills Unplugged Live, from the Local Musician Showcase, from those other shows I've done over the years, you know I like showcasing the singer-songwriter. I like showcasing the poet-writer. I like to showcase those with the original tunes, let people see and hear what they can do. And because I love people getting to know the artist, I grew up watching Storytellers and Unplugged and shows like that. So I do a live Q&A with my acts at the end of every feature, you know, because I want you guys to get to know these artists and where they come from. Now, the feature that we have coming up for you right here, right now, we're going to get them started in just a moment. One half of this duo I've actually known since literally a month after I moved to Colorado Springs 3 years ago. He was hosting a poetry event that happened once a month downtown. We got to, I think I harassed him on Messenger about details for a few days. And then we got to meet, and he was probably just one of the most interesting and intriguing poets to talk to. And I've known a lot of poets over the past 2 decades. You know, just one of the most interesting and intriguing people. And his partner, who's, you might not be able to see her on camera right now, she's standing off to the side. His partner was one of the most pleasant surprises I ever heard the first time he said, "Hey, I have somebody that's going to come in and play with me." I trust him. He's an experienced performer, but I had no idea what to expect, and I was just blown away. And everything since these two have come up together, every time they performed, it's been better and better and better and better, and so I'm glad I have them here with you. Folks, get ready for the next 40 to 45 minutes of music, poetry, little fusion of the two, and otherwise, just having a rocking good time. So having said that, everybody watching online, everybody here in the house, let me know now, are you ready for your featured artist of the evening? All right, folks, then get ready for a duo that really, really proves all you got to do is put in some heart, soul, and commitment to the art, and you can make a good thing happen. Put your hands together. Join us about my clubs. Welcome to the stage, Drifting Swiftly.
Hi guys, thanks for the warm welcome. We're gonna go ahead and start off. The song's called Reckless. I can't possibly put down in words and sentences how relentless your effect on me is. A needle that drives through the logical side of my mental processes that I can't maintain. explain. Slip through my thoughts until it's gone. I can't even do from my head. Strange feelings make my stomach churn. Feels like I'm I'm panicking with you by my side. In the nighttime I'm not fine. My breathing stops and rewinds. Caught between reality and a dream. The exit's difficult to find. I'm searching in vain. This foreign sense leaves me confused. Feeling strange and somewhat reckless. There's nothing more that I can do. I must be Thanks. Am I allowed to? Can I just pick this up?
Yeah.
Excellent. Can I just pick this up? Oh God. Got it. Yeah, we got there. All right. This is the first song that we officially wrote together. It's called Stone Struck. Yeah, let's take it away. Stone struck patterns repeat right around. I'm mesmerized by the sound of my own feet as they walk down this road. Hold tight to the line. I know there's comfort and pain that I own. Bound by familiarity. They say the best intentions they pay. The way to hell or the grave. Telling me the lie, it's gonna get better. Suddenly, I can breathe and escape as the surface tension it breaks over me. I feel free from this burden I've carried, this weight that I've held for so long. These waves they crash against me again. Swept up with no strength to swim. My life said it's gonna get better. Those eyes of memory all the time. Found myself in the light. I knew then I was still casting shadows.
Legacy.
Thank you guys. I always like to say that one's a bop, because it is. What's next? Legacy? All right. That one's a bop. This one is going to bring it back down. So get emotional with us.
Okay. One and yeah. One and two and.
Someday you might be able to see the person that I'm becoming is different somehow. And someday it might finally be true. I'll make it all up to you. But I know someday left destitute. I cast the blame you carried on your shoulders. I know I'm wrong, I know you're right. At least in this I can't deny. I screwed you up, I screwed you over, tore you down so many times. For what it's worth, what can I say? I'm sorry now, but it's too late. Even if in the end you hate me, I'll just keep on hoping someday you might be able to see the person that I'm becoming is different somehow. And someday it might finally be true. I'll make it all up to you. But I know someday is not now. The pain I caused belonged to me. Seems like leaving wounds is my legacy. It wasn't yours to take responsibility. A toxic touch is what I had to give. A kick in the teeth, a kiss on the lips, just enough to keep you at a distance. These ancient walls you tried to break, but loving me was a mistake. The consequences for my actions left you with nothing more to take. Apathetic, full of pride, I played the villain in your eyes, finished with empty excuses. In the end, I hope that someday you might be able to see the person that I'm becoming is different somehow. And someday it might finally be true. I'll make it all up to you. But I know someday is not now. Thanks, guys. We're going to switch some things around, and then we'll do some other stuff. I'm going to sing a couple songs that I wrote on my own, and then Andrew is going to delight you with his wonderful poetry. Okay. Can you hold that?
Absolutely.
And then I'm going to get situated, and then you're going to pass me the guitar. Excellent. All right. Okay. Is this good? Can you guys hear me? Awesome. Excellent. Beautiful. All right. Yeah. Okay. This one is called Time Stands Still. Time stands still, I beg of you. There is not much left in my eyes. Let me reflect on the memories I've built before they're swept away. Stay away. began. It's carried us away. Stay away. Stay with me. Love stampedes in my heartache. There is more there than words could express. Happier moments well up in my eyes to wash the pain away. Stay awake. Stay with me. When the sun shines, I'll smile for you. When the rain falls, I'll cry for you. When the wind blows, I'll whisper your name.
All right, one more round of applause for Hannah, please. Okay, before I started to play guitar, I was a poet, and I have this habit of trying to write a new poem for each thing, and this is a poem that I wrote for this thing, and I incorporated all of our song titles that we currently have in it, and that was a fun challenge.
That's called creative process.
Heck yeah. Okay. I didn't think I'd ever learn to play guitar until I allowed myself to awkward walk into a guitar center and shy smile pay for a cheap starter electric. I didn't think I'd ever learn covers until a friend handshake challenged me so we could play more open mics and build new band stage presence. I didn't think I'd ever learn confidence until I closed eyes cried in a therapist's office and she told me, "That's a lot to hold on to. I'm sorry. You didn't deserve that. It was never your fault." There are so many things I didn't think I'd ever do until I'd done them. My brain used to shrug off compliments like it was Atlas, and those words would tilt the world's axis off his back. I didn't think I could hear compliments until my friend gave me a mantra to speak so my mind could begin soaking itself in something other than self-doubt. Like learning covers and playing guitar, gaining confidence is a practice I didn't understand until I was struck into practicing it. I don't want my legacy to be one of sloughing off everyone else's good intentions, so I ran reckless into trying like I first awkward walked into that guitar shop for my next art. I am still a song in progress, an unfinished cadence, a progression finding new resolutions. I am taking space to break old habits, finding ways other than passing blame to forgive myself for all the times my shoulders hugged themselves into a shrug and let opportunities roll off my back. What they don't tell you about gaining confidence is that you grieve everything you could have been but were too anxiety attack tight to make the first move. I didn't think I'd be drifting swiftly towards self-confidence until I did. And now I know that both music and myself are a dream worth pursuing. I hope you, through all this, find an instrument to pick up, a cover to play, an office to walk into, and that when you hear the compliment of a mantra call your name, you find confidence in its repetition.
Awkward playing back in the chair. Okay. So he just wrote that, and it's got every single one of our songs that we've written embedded in there, which is freaking awesome. Can we give it one more applause? Oh my God. Okay. All right. Here's another one that I wrote. It's called Life Giver. I know there have been days I seemed indifferent to your pain. I know there have been times you needed me and I was gone. But every time I felt life's sharp agonies, yeah, every time you shield me from the pain. You look past my faults and my mistakes. You are my world. Without you, I could not be anything at all. You are my world. You gave me life. You gave me you. I've seen you laugh out loud and smile wide with all nature's beauty. And I've seen you hold back tears because of what I've said. But every time your forgiveness came easily, and every time you loved me just the same. You held me close and kept my monsters at bay. You are my world. Without you, I could not be anything at all. You are my world. You gave me life. You gave me you. I felt the absent family, no place to call my home. And I felt my heart break with you, held the pieces in my hand. But every time we had each other, and every time you were always there, you gave the most with each breath you had in you. You are my world. Without you, I could not be anything at all. You are my world. You gave me life. You gave me you. You gave me you. Thanks, guys.
Okay. This is one of my favorite pieces. All language is music. Your tongue is conductor for string section vocal cords and percussive lips. Your voice is instrument, so sing. Even if they call you cacophony, even when they try to hush you, remember an unsung melody won't change the world, so sing, because someone is always listening. But know this, they will try to be louder. They will try to get different voices stuck in your head. They will try to convince you to stop singing, that no one wants to hear you, that you are nothing but rest and powerless. They will do this by singing their songs on repeat until they get stuck in your head. When a song gets stuck in someone's head, scientists call it an earworm. All language is music, so they will play their catchy phrases on repeat in an attempt to get you to sing, I can't. I'm not good enough. There's nothing I can do. They will sing these songs until their earworms turn loops into our broken record heads until there's nothing left but to let I can't play out to its logical conclusion until there is nothing but static acceptance. So know this too. There's a different way to get rid of their earworms. Sing a new song. Replace their minor melodies with something more major. Learn a new instrument with fewer frets. Remember that in music theory, even a half step in the right direction can lead to major changes. So don't let anyone convince you that they hold all the keys. Remember, we speak in music. Alone, you might be just an instrument, but together we become a symphony. Alone, you are note, but together we become a harmony. Alone you are phrase, but together we are movement. Together we are melodies without rest. Together we are never going to be one-hit wonders. Together we are not unarmed in this sonic war. So when they try to silence you, play to the breakbeat rhythm of the soapbox that is stuck in your throat. Pick up the instrument lodged in your chest and answer back. Rage against this machine and sing until your lungs give out. Sing until you believe. Sing until we triumph. Sing until you save yourself. Sing until you save someone else. Pay attention to the power chords and progressions coming from your own voice and sing, because someone, I promise you, someone is always listening.
I really like that poem. All right, I'm gonna do one more and then we're gonna bring back the band. Okay. There it is, all right. That's not it, hold on. Because I'm not in the right capo. All right, folks, bear with me. I know what I'm doing, all right? I'm just testing you. Is your guitar tuned weird?
Sometimes it gets out of tune real quick.
Okay.
Sorry, technical difficulties.
Do you want to take this from me? Andrew, if you want to take the cable off, you can. Does it help if the cable's off?
It doesn't really matter. Do you want the cable off?
No. That's okay. Thanks for your patience, guys. That sounds right. Here we go. Okay. that my life is witnessing change, and I grasp desperately to these fears for the future. I'm sick and afraid of what's happening. I'm being pushed to the brink of my childhood. I am what I am, but I'm not sure what's me. My future stares me in the face now, like a wandering dog on unfamiliar streets. I can't seem to find my direction. My lungs are collapsed and I cannot breathe. The pressure builds till it's overwhelming. The music that plays brings nostalgia to me. The scars on my legs document history. I pack my life into boxes or I throw it away. I miss where I've been, where I'll go, who can say? The man in my head is pulling strings again, and my life comes to a standstill. I can turn on and off, hide behind a pane of glass. I feel I'm becoming transparent. The intricacies you could find in my brain, I can't live with it without it. Can I spill out these demons or must they remain a scourge on my body and mind forever? The music that plays brings nostalgia to me. The scars on my legs document history. I pack my life into boxes or I throw it away. I miss where I've been, where I'll go, who can say?
I ding my guitar.
You stole it. Thanks, guys. All right, so this next one is called Mantra. If you noticed, Andrew had mentioned it in his poem. It's fairly new, so I'm going to look at my phone. For lyrics only. Mm-hmm.
I put my pick in my pocket. Of course I put my pick in my pocket. Why would I not put my pick in my pocket? That'll work. Now I can be a pickpocket. Sorry, y'all.
Ready?
Ready, ready, ready. Okay.
What was my intention? Gathering affection from the crowd. Questions answered with inaction. Purposeful detachment breeds self-doubt. Smile for me now.
You ready for this?
I'm not gonna fuck it up.
Okay.
It's gonna be great. I'm gonna hold this again.
Absolutely.
Sorry, guys. I'm good.
Silent. No. Move this microphone in, 'cause I don't need it anymore. Okay.
Finding a reason to break these cycles. I've been there and done that. No need to keep treading this route. Life comes in seasons and winter's been long, but the springtime has come and it's gnawing away at the ground. Yes, there've been times of being cold and detached, helpless survive with the wind that harbors. Time moves ever forward, you've been stagnant and still. Make room for yourself to grow and you will. Years break as I face my own monsters, beings I created back when fear was all that I've known. At times what it takes to let go of my failures and learn from the mistakes, I'll practice the patience I'm shown. Yes, there were times of being cold and detached, helpless survive with the wind that harbors. Time moves ever forward, we've been stagnant and still. Make room for yourself to grow and you will. We fall from expectations, kept on our shelf like a shrine dusted all the versions of yourself. The truth is not make your past invalid. Experience isn't just what you make it. Adapt to your ego and find who you are. Identity isn't made only from scars. There've been times of being cold and detached, helpless survive with the wind that harbors. Time moves ever forward, you've been stagnant and still. Make room for yourself to grow and you will. Thank you guys. We got one more for you. But first we're gonna tune up.
I just want to make sure it's perfect. I'm sorry. / you're welcome. Okay. Thank you. All right.
Okay.
Ready?
You go for it. Grab some water and
Please.
craters and Thank you, guys. We've been drifting swiftly. Thanks for drifting swiftly with us. Can you tell that I thought that up a while ago?
All right, folks, let's keep going for Drifting Swiftly. All right, for those of you watching at home on Facebook or YouTube, for those of you sitting here in the house, this was this month's feature, Drifting Swiftly, and now we get to my favorite portion of any feature night. Once again, for those of you who just walked in the middle of the show, this is the Overpaired Open Mic, and we are currently in the middle of our monthly live stream feature on the last Wednesday of each month. I take an act, give them 40 to 45 minutes, share all original materials, no covers, give them a chance to really show off what they can do and really have some fun with things. And then afterwards, we have a little Q&A, because I like people to get to know the artist. All right, folks, so over here we have Drew and Hannah. Now, I'm going to start off with, I've interviewed Drew a number of times. If you've seen some of my film projects, you've seen his previous features. So I'm going to start off with Hannah over here, because although we've had a chance to talk a little bit here and there, we haven't really gotten into deep with things. So, to begin, just tell us a little bit about yourself and about how you and Drew linked up.
A little about myself. I don't know. I was born in Colorado Springs, and I've lived here basically my whole life. I started singing at the age of 2 when you had those, those cute little cassette tape recorders with the face, and they're made of plastic. Yeah, since then. I became a teacher, and during my student teaching phase, I was at Mitchell, which Andrew was teaching there as well. So initially we met there, but then we're reintroduced through a mutual friend. I don't see where she is. Anne. Hello, Anne. It's her fault. It's all her fault. And then, I've gone to a few poetry events and found out he could play guitar pretty dang well, and went from there.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. All right, okay. Now, Drew, so the two of you met teaching at Mitchell, all right, and then you got reintroduced later. How did this collaboration come about?
Okay, so, sorry, I'm trying to be diabetic at the same time. I know, it's multitasking. So I just remember it being the pandemic, and Hannah had been like, I'm interested in trying to write some new music, and you play guitar well, let's meet at Bear Creek Park and discuss some ideas. And from there, I was like, I have this really cool chord progression that I really like, and I played it for Hannah. I think that we recorded it on her phone so that she could go home and write some lyrics to it, and she wrote the ballerest lyrics I've ever heard. And that was the first verse that we had, and then we had written the second verse as well, she had, and then we were like, I think that we need a bridge. We need something to kind of put this together, and we talked about different chord progressions that we could use to do that, and we kind of fumbled our way through it at first, and it came together beautifully. So it was artists looking for something to do when there was nothing else to do.
All right. So this next question, Drew, I'm going to start with you, and then we're going to flip back to Hannah. All right. Now, both of you are educators. All right. Both of you have a diverse palette of influences, I guess could say. Drew, we've talked enough. We're both poets. Know you're a martial artist. I know you've been a TEDx 2019 presenter. We've got all these different influences. One of the things that I think a lot of people don't take stock in, which I believe helps us develop as artists, is how the different things in our past inform what we're doing and what we bring to the artistic table, the artistic palette. If you could, please just give me just a couple minutes about how some things you've done before might have helped prepare you for this duo.
I don't know about this duo specifically, but I know that martial arts for me was a place where I learned if you want people to pay attention to you, you change the context of that moment. In martial arts, we do a kia, which is supposed to mean spirit yell. You've seen some places where they yell for the entire form. That's not the point. We learned that if you want someone to pay attention to the move, you either go slower if you've been going fast, or you go faster when you've been going slower. So by adding that idea of that context shift, gets people to pay attention to that part of the art, that is incredibly informative for all sorts of arts. And when you're doing a poem, if you want people to pay attention, sometimes you'll be louder, right, if you've been quiet for the last part. In terms of the duo, I think that all of my different past collaborations with poetry slam teams, where people were like, I want to write to this idea. And then we would write different versions of the same poem, and then we would come together and say, I really like what you did with that set of that piece there. We're going to combine this piece, and we would end up Frankensteining a poem together and just kind of smoothing out the edges and making it come to life. And we've had a similar process for some of our songwriting, where I will be like, I have this chord progression, and she has these lyrics. Another time for one of the songs, she had lyrics and a melody, and I was like, let's do some weird chords to this. And it worked out really well.
Okay.
Same question?
Same question.
Can you repeat the question?
So we all have our different past influences, different things we've done, places we've been that inform what we do now. Your past experiences with music or maybe with other outlets, how do you think that helped contribute to this duo, to Drifting Swiftly?
That's a big question. So, I mean, I'll start with like the lighter side of this is I'm an English major. Andrew's also an English major. And so having this like deep-seated love for language and the power behind language is really the root of when I started writing songs, right? And so as somebody who focuses more lyrically, having a partner in crime who has all of the music theory background is like a match made in a Bear Creek park. So I mean, like, writing has always just been my natural outlet, but to go a little further with that, I know that music for me has been a way to express maybe feelings or like having a way to deal with past traumas or past experiences that there's not another way that I know of for dealing with them. And I know that we've shared similar backgrounds in some aspects, and so I think that that has really helped us come together and collaborate in a really effective, like really nuanced, interesting way.
Okay, all right, cool. Now we're gonna go a little deeper into the influences. All right, you know, for example, when I started writing poetry, writing in earnest when I was 15, and you know, in the early days of writing, I was actually writing song lyrics. I wanted to be a music producer, and I was writing song lyrics. I had no delusions about being a rock star. Well, I did. But, you know, I knew words were where I was. And I started off loving literature. I started off with Shakespeare, Poe, and then musically Pearl Jam. Those were my three initial influences. And around that time, I was introduced to what is now my all-time favorite band, U2. And a lot of that, as well as stuff I picked up along the way, you know, when you go into blues and jazz and things like that, a lot of that's influenced my poetry. What about your influences from whether it's other musicians, poets, even if it's writers or TV series? What about your influences?
Well, to start, it was mostly my parents' taste in music, which was a lot of folk and, you know, that storytelling through a song kind of thing. And then I also expanded my interest areas into System of a Down has been my favorite band forever. And they do some really interesting things with the way that they write their music. Recently I've gotten into, her name's LP, she's a singer-songwriter and just has a killer voice. And she does some really interesting things vocally. So I think that with those influences, I've been trying to navigate my own sound. I'm still not sure what to call it. I think right now we're calling it what?
Progressive folk.
Progressive folk. So.
Okay. All right, Drew, same question to you, man.
A similar answer in terms of parents. My dad has shared all of his music with me, which has mostly been progressive rock. So I had artists like Porcupine Tree that I listened to almost all the time, and then random-ish story. I was driving home from Denver, the context of that was I was helping to clean out my grandmother who had just passed her apartment. And my dad had given me a CD because it had like Avenged Sevenfold and some other stuff on it because I liked them. And on this CD was also a band called Thank You Scientist. And Thank You Scientist has like incredibly good lyrics, I think. They also have like a trumpet player and a violinist and a saxophone player and like all these really cool things. It's like ska grew up and learned how to write progressive rhythms. And that has been a big influence on me because like they use really interesting things with their instruments and they're intricate. And I love the fact that like a couple of our songs have key changes to help express the emotion of the song. Or to sort of, one of the songs has a different key that the chorus is played in as opposed to what the verses are played in. And I love that we can take these sort of music theory nuanced ideas and put them into a format that I think is easily listenable.
Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. So, sticking with the creative side, and we've all done some kind of workshop mentoring. You know, two of you being educators, you know, I've talked to you guys how I've gone in and I've run poetry clubs and I've done work with different schools back home in North Carolina. We all have our ways of approaching things. Sometimes they evolve, sometimes they change, but we have our ways of approaching things. So looking at the songwriting the two of you have done as Drifting Swiftly, do you have a particular preferred approach or one that you've noticed you seem to take? For example, I'm going to go back to U2. Again, my all-time favorite band. You know, most of the time, the band will create the music, and Bono will rap lyrics around it. Or maybe he'll come up with a line or a chorus, and then the band will create a sound for that, and then Bono will go ahead and rap the lyrics around. Others, they start off with, I have this line, I have this refrain in my head, whatever the case may be. What's your songwriting process seem like?
Me? Oh, crap. Okay. I am super new at songwriting in terms of including lyrics, but I will usually have some chord progression that sticks in my brain, and then I will be like, Hannah, please help me. This chord progression is stuck in my brain, but it doesn't have lyrics. Can you do something with this? And that has been mostly the songwriting process. It has been me being like, please help, in my opinion, but I'm sure that she has a different answer.
So we're like perfectly opposite in this, right? So it's true that Andrew will be like, hey, here's this really cool chord progression. Can you add some lyrics that fit this kind of feeling? And we'll kind of talk about like, what is the story that you're trying to show, right? Like, what is the feeling we're representing here? In a similar manner, I'll be like, hey, I wrote these really cool lyrics and I don't really know what I'm doing with them. Can you add some chords behind them? So, I mean, like, we're like two magnets, right? Where I'm negative, he's positive, and where he's positive, I'm negative.
Balance.
Sure, balance, yeah.
Balance.
Yin to my yang.
There you go. No, balance is a beautiful thing. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, so I'm not going to torture you too much longer, okay? But, you know, I do like to kind of dig deep into some things. So let's go back to the surface a little bit here. Now, you guys have started playing, and what have you noticed as far as your growth as a duo and as individual artists? You know, this is me being nice. But no, what have you noticed as far as, you know, both as a duo and as an individual artist, your growth as you're playing, especially, you know, Hannah, we just had a Zoom conference a few weeks ago with your students talking about running a show and stuff. What have you noticed with that? I'm going to start with you here. How have you guys grown since you started playing?
How we've grown since we started playing together. Well, I'll say for myself, I've grown to really trust Drew with what he's doing. Sometimes it's a miss, but most times it's a hit. And even when it is a miss, we work through it, and it's like, I trust that he knows what he's doing and that he has the best intentions for our music. Why wouldn't he? And I think that also, like, being able to share in, like, what emotion is behind the piece, or what experience we've had, has really brought us to a point where our music is really meaningful, and it captures something of an essence. We've also been, I think, that we've been kind of pushing ourselves to try different things, to seek different avenues for creativity. We had a long-running joke that all the songs that we played were sad and depressing. And then we were like, okay, so if that's the truth, then let's write a happy song. And then we did, and it was good. Yeah, so it's been nice to feel like I can be challenged and also challenge someone else to grow in our musical aspirations.
Okay. I didn't know how to sing and play guitar until Hannah was like, you should learn covers so that we can go to open mics, just like my poem said. Like, I am a much better, more well-rounded musician because of the challenges that she has put in front of me. And I actually wrote lyrics because she was like, let's write a happy song. And that's like the only song that I've written so far. And I don't think it's amazing, but it's not bad. Yeah. And I think Hannah came to me the other day, like a few weeks ago, and had shown me this new chord progression and like lyric thing that she was working on. And she's like, I think you're rubbing off on me because I'm playing some weird chords. And I was like, yes. So I think that we challenge each other in it. We don't disparage each other for what we don't know. We encourage each other for what we do.
Okay. All right. So now, for those of you watching online right now, you may have noticed a couple times throughout the feature, I've shared their Instagram account, which is drifting.swiftly. Again, that's on Instagram. I've shared that across. They're still building up as a duo, and frankly, I think they're just going to keep going up as long as they want to keep working together like this. Do you guys have any projects in the works? I know we've talked about some stuff. I don't want to spoil it if you guys aren't ready to talk about it, but do you have any projects in the works, any gigs coming up, anything those watching online or those sitting here in the house might want to know?
Yeah. Last minute, if you're not busy on Friday and you really want to be, it's First Friday, so there's like open art galleries and lots of cool things going on. We are one of those cool things going on. We're going to be at Chris Alvarez's studio. It's underneath Colorado Bridge. From 6 to 8, we'll be playing there. And there's some really sweet art you can check out. There's also like a coffee roaster next door, so it smells divine. Kind of like Jives, right? Yeah. Coffee and music, they go hand in hand. And then May 20th in that place, that is, dang it, it's on my phone. Here, vamp for a second.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. In terms of group projects, I think that we're going to be continuing on music this Friday. Like Hannah said, we're going to be underneath the Colorado Avenue Bridge, I think, at Chris Alvarez's studio. I'm really excited for that because we get to play like covers as well as maybe some improvisation and some other stuff. In terms of individually, I have a theater thing over summer that's going to be part of Campfire Productions. I'm really looking forward to that. I've been doing some acting recently, and that's been a lot of fun. So if you want to follow my individual account, @DrewDadPoet, then you'll hear more about that.
And it is May 20th from 6 to 7. Tentatively, it's in Rocky Ford, so if you want to travel a little bit, we are partnering with Art Matters Productions. They're doing a mini concert series over the summer, so check them out. Yeah, awesome. Art Matters Productions.
Awesome, Art Matters Productions, that's awesome. All right, folks, now, Drew knows how much I love this question. No, this isn't the show where I go off the wall. But no, we've talked about, to include earlier this evening, what it is to watch, especially younger artists, but really new artists of any age, what it is to watch them come alive, what it is to realize when they realize what they have inside them. You know, I've always said when I run a workshop, it's not to teach you how to write and teach you how to be a poet. It's to show you that you already know and to help you develop and grow that. But there are a lot of people out there, until they sit down with, you know, someone like us, they're kind of lost, like we all were at some point. You know, they're kind of lost. So if you had anything that you wanted to say, whether it's people watching on YouTube Live or Facebook Live or the folks sitting right here in the house, if you have anything that you want to say to encourage them, push them, whatever the case may be, remind them that they can do this too, what would that message be? I'm going to start with you, Hannah.
I guess it would just be, you cannot be afraid to fail, right? Like, failures are part of our successes. The only reason that I'm any good at writing songs is because I wrote a bunch of really terrible ones that we don't speak of anymore. But you have to go through that period of sucking in order to succeed, right? So don't be afraid to fail, and the hardest part is taking that first step. So just try.
I'm going to say the same thing, but in a slightly different way. A lot of people think that progress is linear. A lot of people think that healing is linear. It's not. Sometimes it is a spiral. We go back a little bit, and then we are able to go forward a little bit more. I tend to think of learning as an exponential equation. It seems like we're not going anywhere for the first little bit, and then suddenly we take off and we know so much more. But the only way for that exponential equation to really take root is if we do stuff every time that we get a chance to. It is better to practice for 15 minutes a day than to practice for an hour a week. It is better to practice for 5 minutes a day than 30 minutes a week, right? Because we are what we do. And so don't strive for being perfect. Strive for just doing it.
Yes. Definitely. Thank you. All right, folks. For those of you watching online, we are about to cut the stream here in just a few moments. For those of you here in Jives Coffee Lounge, feel free to stick around because we still have plenty of open mic acts coming up for you. A lot of musicians, not too many poets on tonight's list, but I'll be closing us out with some spoken word at the end of the night for those of you that stick around for it. But in the meantime, we're going to have some fun with some stuff. Please give it up one more time for tonight's feature, Drifting Swiftly. And I just hope you guys know 6 months to a year, I'm probably going to try and bring you guys back on the stream again because I want to show off. I have confidence in how far you guys are going to develop, and I want to show that off. I want to let people see just how far you've come and just how much beauty there was at the beginning and how much more there will be tomorrow. You know, absolutely awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you, Drifting Swiftly. All right, like I said, we're going to cut the stream and we're going to go back to open mic here in just a few minutes. But before we do, for my folks watching online, especially if this is your first time checking in with us, we do have more features coming. Once again, we do this live stream on the last open mic night, the last Wednesday night of each month. Now, what do we have coming up here soon? Let's see here. All right, so coming up April 27th, we got Mr. Jake Massey hanging out over here. He'll be featuring on our live stream. Then, coming up May 25th, I think he left already, but Mr. T. Hall will be featuring come May 25th. On June 29th, AJ Barnett hanging out over there. He'll also be doing his second feature with us. He'll be doing that come then. And then July 27th, we've got a relative newcomer to our stable of artists here, Autumn Grace. She's played with us a handful of times, bowled the crowd over each time she has played, so she'll be playing in July. And then as we get into the summer, I'll be updating you guys on our bookings from there. For those of you that might be interested, just so you know, before I even look at booking an artist, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to want to see 4 or 5 open mic performances out of you with your original material, not just your covers, because no covers on the live stream. So I'm going to want to see 4 or 5 open mic performances out of you. All house rules like no profanity and whatnot, all house rules will still be in effect. So just kind of bear that in mind right there. This is an invitational event, but I do accept people popping their name in the hat, so feel free to email me, poetnorthstar@gmail.com, or look me up, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Vero, for the few of you that might be aware of Vero, or Twitter on the rare occasion you catch me on there, at Poet North Star across all social media. Drop your name in the hat. If you have links or anything like that, please go ahead and let me know. I also want to give you guys just quick heads up on 2 acts coming up. First of all, I got to go to my phone for this. All right. There we go. So first of all, Dryerline is playing a show this Friday, April 1st, at Stargazers Theater right here in the Springs. Doors open at 6. It's a $10 cover. The show starts at 7, so you can catch that. Also, we've got the duo, I do believe it's a father-daughter duo, Joe and Katie U. Vegas. They will be playing here at Jives this Saturday, 6 to 8 p.m., doing a mix of originals and covers right here on this stage. So if you get a chance, pop on into Jives, check that out. Pop on out to Stargazers, check that out. There's plenty of things going on. For those of you watching online, don't forget you can keep up with stuff. Follow me at Poet Northstar. Follow at the Overpaired Open Mic on Instagram, or the Overpaired Open Mic group on Facebook. Or you can follow jives.coffee.lounge, and you'll catch all those events there. In the meantime, those of you here in the house, like I said, just give me a few minutes, shut down the stream. Those of you watching online, thank you for joining us, and hope to see you guys next month.